So I'm not really a big jumper. I'm not really very good at it. And I don't spend a lot of time practicing jumps, and I never have. And I never will, because I think it's kind of a waste of time. I would just rather practice killing people and aiming and my tactics. The return on investment isn't there, in my opinion. Like, back on the 360, I spent so much time learning the gold 1 to gold 2 jump on Guardian just because I thought it was cool. And I spent a lot of time on that jump until I could pretty much do it every time. And it made a difference. It won me like one game. It made the winning difference one time after spending hours on it. So I'm actually pretty comfortable saying that this is the only map where you even have to know any jumps, at least for big team. But even something like Guardian, I don't think you need to know any trick jumps on Guardian. I don't think you need to know any of them. The one exception I would even say is Snipe 1 to Snipe 2, which is a jump that I can't do because I never practiced it. But this map is an exception. I would say this is the one big team map that you're not going to be able to play it properly if you don't know these jumps. So this will probably be my only jumping video, and just making my drunk tape videos made me realize that some of these jumps are really important on this map. So most of these have to do with navigating the seawall, which is really important. And this first jump is the most important one. You have to be able to do this to play this map properly. So on this one, you're just jumping pretty late and then sliding up. You're jumping pretty late and then you're crouch jumping. You're crouching at the end and just kind of sliding up the wall because of how late you're jumping. And you want to hit the right side of it, but not too far right. So like right there. If you go in the middle, that was getting pretty close to not working. If you go in the middle, you won't be able to make it. You can see that the lip kind of slopes down to the right a little bit. So you want to go just to the right of center. Jump late, crouch at the top, and just slide up. That one you have to know how to do. This one is pretty important too. It's pretty nice to be able to do this, and then you don't have to run out the right side on the ground. Or go down to the ramp on the left. So you just jump on that little lip, and then once you're standing on the lip, if you just run forward, so I'm just holding forward there, and you can see that he starts to run, and it makes you kind of bounce up and down. So you're just timing that, and you're you're crouch jumping when he's at the highest point. So you just hold forward, your guy will start to bounce up and down, and then you just time your jump with when you're at the highest point of bouncing. This one you have to be able to do. Not really hard, but if you jump too early, like I still mess this one up sometimes, because if you jump too early, you hit your head on the arch and you won't make it. So you just jump late on that one, hit the broken part of the wall. This one is fun, but lots of times you won't get away with this because you're pretty exposed while you're doing that. But that's a good one to know because it's hard to get people out the bubble tower. And then, yeah, running up, just that basic one, running up like the parapet. You should obviously know how to do that. And then the last few jumps at the seawall are here. This one is kind of nice. There's probably a lot of people who don't do that ever. And that's a quick way to jump in there and surprise people. And then this last one is important too, because you get to skip the hallway. So you can see, you get up on this railing, and then you can jump into the windows, or you can actually go this way. And this one's easiest to hit if you hit the little corner there, because it's a little bit lower, but you don't need to aim for the corner to make it. So yeah, from this railing, you can jump either way, up high onto the seawall. So and then the last jump you need to know is here to get into the wheel without having to go all the way around. And you're just jumping on the back of the fin. So yeah, these are like literally the only jumps I think you need to know on the whole game. And none of them are very hard, so they shouldn't take long to practice. And then this was an old one on the 360. You use it for objective when you're on defense, and that allows you to quickly go from the fan to bubble tower without the gate being down and without having to drop the gate. But it's just kind of silly and not really that relevant anymore. So yeah, the biggest one is hopping in the hidey hole, which is technically called the zinger. It used to be called the Zanzibar zinger because that's what it said in the little game advice clip on Halo 2. So if you hear somebody say the zinger, that's the hidey hole. But I just call it the hidey hole now because I'm always hiding in there. All of the seawall jumps you need to know, but that one especially because it's the only way you can get away from Froman, and Froman goes to shit a lot. Or you hop out and grab the sniper, and then you need to get back in the hole. You can do it with grenades, but you really shouldn't because it's not a hard jump to learn, and you don't want to make yourself no shields or half shields jumping into the hole with the sniper rifle because you're going to get clipped every once in a while, and there's just no reason to do it because that jump's not hard. And then the rest of the seawall jumps are all really easy, but they're really important too, so you should learn every jump in this video for sure. And again, this will probably be my only jumping video. I'm not going to have you guys learning a bunch of jumps or spending a lot of time on jumps. I mean, some of them are cool. There's some pretty cool jumps, and there's some pretty tactically useful jumps on every single map. It's just not really worth the time to practice, in my opinion. And there's so many of them. There's probably some 4v4 maps where there are jumps that are important to know, but these ones are really the only essential ones, in my opinion.